Welcome to the Reed Report. Thank you guys for taking the time to hear me out. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate all the support. Last week was a big week. We had the raffle and everything, and I appreciate all that was able to participate in that. And of course, like I said, we have more things coming in the future, so just stay tuned, subscribe, and hit the notification bell and keep an eye out for that because we definitely have more things coming. Today's show, I want to talk about something that I've been thinking about, and then I saw a video on YouTube from Dreamers Pro, and they were talking about Kevin Durant and the Brooklyn Nets, and are they blatantly being overlooked by the media? And I thought that was an interesting topic. I thought what he had to say about it was interesting, and I do agree with it, but I did also have a different perspective on that matter. The Brooklyn Nets not getting the respect and notoriety. I was going to say notification, but pretty much not getting the respect and notoriety that I think they deserve, because even without Kyrie Irving, so far, they are still at the top of the Eastern Conference. They're still, one of the best teams in the league. But yeah, so on the Dreamers Pro show, he was talking about, just Brooklyn being overlooked, and he was wondering if it was blatantly being overlooked. And you see teams like the Lakers, I will just use the Lakers as an example. You see a team like them, and you see how poor they've been playing. It's funny, every time they get a win, they talk about the tide is turning, the tide's changing, things are changing. Next game, they go out and lose, talk about how they have to be better. And when you just look at their wins, they don't look impressive. And in any of them, the only impressive wins I will give them is Miami and Indiana. But, Indiana is not a very good team. And the Lakers should be far above reproach when playing the Indiana Pacers, and they're not. That team is playing really bad basketball for the players they have and the hype that we were giving them, and I'll put myself in there included, the hype we were giving them coming into the season, and they haven't lived up to it. Meanwhile, we had this whole fiasco around the Brooklyn Nets because of Kyrie Irving. Like you said in Dreamers Pro, if it's not anything negative, they don't want to talk about KD, talk about the Brooklyn Nets, even though KD is the best player in the world right now. I don't think you could argue that. I'm sure people, mainly Warrior fans, with those Steph in that conversation, but no one is holding a candle to Kevin Durant right now, and the numbers are there to back it up. And you'll say, well, Steph had the numbers as well, but Steph can't impact the game the way KD does. And we're going to find that out as we get closer to the playoffs and things like that. But you look at KD numbers, he is averaging 28 points per game. I'm going to look at the rest. I just remembered that stat. He's averaging, I missed it again. He's averaging 28 points per game. He's averaging 7 rebounds. He's averaging 5 assists, almost 1 steal a game, and a block. You look at James Harden. James Harden is not the James Harden from Houston. He's not playing like the MVP James Harden. He's been struggling. We saw the fans boo him. I think it was the Phoenix game. We saw the fans booing him in Barclays. And but it still goes to show just the impact that Kevin Durant has on this team, the impact he has in the NBA that people are overlooking, because he still has his team at the top of the Eastern Conference. Doesn't matter about the health of people like the players from Philly. That's not in Kevin Durant's control. Milwaukee struggling early on is not in the control of Kevin Durant. He has been balling despite not having Kyrie, and I do want Kyrie back, but I want him back not, going against what he believed in. I want him to stand on what he believed in and to be able to come back without going against his belief. But you look at someone like a Stephen A. Smith, and I think the reason that I think the Nets are also being shunned and blatantly overlooked, even though, like we said, they have all of these media outlets, these big mainstream media outlets who can cover the Nets, who see what this team is doing despite not having their second or third best player, or whatever, whichever way you want to rank James Harden and Kyrie Irving. They don't have their playmaker, their closer. They don't have Kyrie Irving, and they're still playing great. But I think the reason they are being overlooked is, and this is my opinion, is because Kevin Durant didn't publicly crucify Kyrie Irving the way the media wanted him to. I think you saw how Stephen A, every time Kyrie does something, this guy walk down the street, you see he take a photo, he's not wearing a mask, people are going to know where he is. Oh, he's in his home. Well, he should probably still be wearing a mask just to be safe, just in his business. If it's not negative, they don't want to talk about it. But Kevin Durant did not come out and blast Kyrie Irving like they wanted him to, and you know they wanted him to. The Nets lose they try to make this narrative now like, oh, it's because the Nets are losing these big games and there's no Kyrie. Milwaukee, opening night, whatever. They're the champs. They were going to win that. But then they go with Phoenix and Golden State. It's 2 games. To me, this is my opinion. You guys have yours. Let me know in the comments. But the regular season, in a way, has become so uninteresting, especially this early on, that no one will even remember the games against Golden State and Phoenix, teams they play only twice a year later in the season. Only when the MVP discussion is up, we'll say, well, remember Steph Curry did beat Kevin Durant head-to-head in this game, and then he did it the second time, blah, blah, blah. They haven't played each other twice, but just an example. No one is going to talk about these games once the playoffs start. But I think it just goes back to Kyrie Irving not being there, Kevin Durant not coming out against Kyrie Irving. People really wanted him to do that. They really wanted to basically solidify, want KD to turn on him. So I think he's paying the price for that, and they're not giving the Nets their proper respect because they tried to make it sound like, Kyrie, I feel bad. KD, I feel bad for you, bro. Kyrie Irving left you out to dry. He left you hanging. But they still have James Harden, who's a former MVP, who can put up big numbers, who's been deep in the Western Conference playoffs, 1 game away from the NBA Finals. 3 Western Conference, 3 counting the Thunder days, 3 Western Conference Finals and 2 with his own team. But they want to paint this narrative like this team really needs Kyrie Irving to make it. I think they need him to win a championship. And I'm not saying this as someone who's against Kyrie Irving, but Brooklyn is still talented enough to make it deep in the playoffs and make it to the finals without Kyrie Irving. But that's my take on it. That's why I think KD and the Nets aren't getting the focus they should be getting and the respect they should be getting. I think it all comes back to KD not criticizing and crucifying his brother, his boy, Kyrie Irving. So let me know what y'all think about that. Thank you guys for taking the time to hear me out. Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe. Again, stay tuned. We do have more stuff coming in the future, so be sure to hit that bell, subscribe, and stay notified. Appreciate you guys. Have a good one. Peace.